Hey, it's Gabriel from Task Sensor again. We know how valuable your time is, so you don't waste time filling in the same fields with the same values over and over and over again. We came up with task default values. First, let's take a look at the normal way to create a task without task default values. We're going to click this plus button and choose Add Task. You can see how many fields there are, so we already know this is going to slow down the task creation process. Now I'll create the task. Choose the task type and priority. Give a time estimation, assign it to someone, and choose the required custom field target market we mentioned in the previous video. Now the task is created without task default values. Now let's go over how to set your task default values and create tasks much faster. First, we'll go to this board settings page. On the nav bar, we'll click on the task default values page, which is where we'll set our task default values. I'll choose a task type and task priority because they're the same for every task on this board. The time estimation is also the same for every task. It's 2 days, so I'll set that here. The target market custom field is United States and is going to be the same across the board. So now I've set my task default values and I will click the Save button here. Now, when I switch to my holistic board and create some tasks again, I can see that the fields I was going to fill in manually are already filled out. I just have to fill in my task summary, hit the Add button. Task default values also work with AI Sentinel and our integrations. If I write some text here for AI Sentinel to convert into tasks, it will suggest 2 tasks. If I hit the Create button and go to the task view, we can see that the task default values that I've set are already filled in. The estimation is 2 days, the task type is task, the task priority is critical, and the task market is the United States. These are the task default values of the Boston board. Task default values are set per board. Let's go over to the Paris board and open the task field values page. I need almost the same task default values for this board, so I don't have to fill all those in again. Instead, I can just clone the default values of my Boston board. So I'll clone the values by clicking Clone Values and choose the Boston board. You can see that now that these fields are automatically filled and I can just change what I need to change, which is the target market. Since I'm in the Paris board, I'll change my target market to Europe. I'll save these changes here and go back to my board. Next, I'll create a task here, and you can see my default field values are filled in automatically. This really saves a lot of time. I'll just add a summary, create this task, and since my task is unassigned, I'll find my task and open the task view. And that's it. Here's the task I created on the Paris board using the task default values. Thank you for joining me on this feature deep dive. Stay tuned for more exciting news from Task Sensor.